Hey everyone, Justin Russell with RussellMarineProducts.com out on another beautiful day on El Dorado Lake. Actually, it's really cold. We're not bundled up that well, but we got ice all around us. It's like 36-degree water temperatures. Spent about, 20-30 minutes breaking through ice to hit the open water out here. But anyway, it was worth it. We're gonna show you why. Talking about a brand new product from Lowrance, which is Lowrance Ghost 360. Let's check it out. All right, guys, one of the first things we want to go over here is what do you actually need to have Lowrance Ghost 360? So, first up, obviously, have to have a Ghost trolling motor, hence the Ghost 360. Secondly, you're going to have a unit to operate it or pair to it, which will be a carbon unit, an Elite FS unit, an HDS Live unit. So, three great units that are going to be able to operate this. Lastly, hardware-wise, you're going to need a 3-in-1 active imaging nose cone transducer to replace the HDI transducer that comes on your Ghost trolling motor as standard. Fourth, don't really need any hardware other than the Lowrance free software upgrade at Lowrance.com. Once you have all these installed on your boat, you boom, have 360 imaging. Very simple to do. Once you get the free download, you've got a tile on your screen, just like you do on any other Lowrance unit that says Ghost 360. Push on that tile, there's a scan button on the unit itself that you push to scan and start rotating the head of the trolling motor. Next I want to go up to is how does this technology or this software sonar feature actually work? So what Lowrance was able to do with programming, with the software update and the hardware that was already available is they basically take your 3-in-1 active imaging transducer on the head of your trolling motor and rotate it 180 degrees. Once it rotates and back 180 degrees, they're able to produce the 360 imaging because you have crystals on each side of that transducer that generally produce a side imaging image. They're actually using the software to rotate the head of the trolling motor. Now, this does have some limitations, however, because it is mounted directly to the head of the trolling motor. So, guys that are on spot lock quite a bit, or if you're operating your trolling motor moving down the bank very, very quickly, you will obviously get somewhat of a blurred image on this and it won't function correctly. In fact, what we've been able to find and do here, we can go into our soft keys on our autopilot for our Ghost trolling motor and actually make one of the 3 buttons on here that you can program the scan button for being able to have the Ghost 360. So a really cool feature, instead of having to bend down and start and stop the scan feature on your unit, you can actually use your foot by using one of the 3 programmable buttons. We'll show you that in another video here coming up soon. All right, the first video segment here, you can see we're very, very shallow. We're in 3.5 feet of water here. As it rotates, one of the things I wanted to pick up and notice is the detail of this rock flat. So you can see the actual cracks in between the hard bottom and then where it actually breaks up into individual rock chunks. I thought this was very interesting, so I wanted to showcase a lot of this and see how kind of those cracks or veins actually run through this rock flat right here. So you can see a lot of differences that come up very, very quickly on here. Again, very good returns here for super shallow water. You can see we're in 800 kilohertz, so of course we're gonna get the best imaging that we can with that, but that also reduces how far out we're going to be able to see. That's why it gets a little bit darker as it goes further out. All right, this next one you guys have seen a bunch on our perspective versus scout mode videos and just videos in general. It's one of my favorite areas just because I think it looks really cool on the screen. But this is the old fence row in El Dorado Lake that I've told you guys about. As you see here, the very bottom of the screen, you can see where the fence makes a hard 90 and kind of comes from the bottom right to the upper left-hand corner. And what that shows there is you can actually see the gap in the fence. Again, we've talked about this before. This is completely my assumption, but I assume that gap in the fence there is either where the fence is just completely gone brittle, fallen down and silted over, or it was actually a gap for maybe a driveway or an entry into the field that the fence was actually sectioning off. So as you can see here, really good detail. Again, we're on 455, so we're 6.5 feet of water here, but we're scanning further out and get better returns farther away. So a little bit less detail on the image quality, but again, we're looking way further out here, which is really, really good. And as the image is moving there is because the boat was moving around. All right, this last one I want to go over here is actually a combination rock and brush pile with some anchors that hold a wave break in place. The anchors there are going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. The very large rock and brush pile is going to be on the right-hand side of the screen. We're in deeper water this time. You can see we're in 17, 18 feet of water here, just kind of bouncing around. The image is going to rotate a little bit as the boat is drifting. Again, this is not a feature that you can use in Spot Lock at all. So cannot use Spot Lock and Ghost 360 at the same time. So that's why that image moves around. But I do want to showcase here, you can see those anchors. You can even see some of the cabling coming off those anchors that do hold the wave break in place. There's a good cable laying across a rock pile on the very top left-hand side of the screen up there. But again, guys, we're in 455 kilohertz here, so going to be seeing out farther away from where we're located or where the trolling motor is located, but we're not going to have as crisp of detail as we would being on 800, but just wanted to showcase a couple different things here. We're going to spend a lot more time with this thing on the water coming up, as long as we don't have ice conditions like we do right now, be able to utilize this and fish more effectively and showcase to you guys how we're using this to put more fish in the boat. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this video on the new Lowrance Ghost 360. Please like, share, and subscribe. We've got a lot more videos on the Ghost 360 coming your way very, very shortly. As always, russellmarineproducts.com, sales@russellmarineproducts.com, phone number 316-313-4113. Happy to get you these components to get you out on your boat, to get you the Lowrance Ghost 360.